Halloween, Halloween, creepy crawly Halloween, trick or treating all in fun. October 31st has come. Halloween, Halloween, spooky kooky Halloween, kids in costumes, what a sight on Halloween.
All right, we are back on the air for another episode of Hauntcore History, your bi-monthly time machine back into haunt history with the couple from Higby Horror Haunt, John and Ashley, and myself. We are talking the first show of Knott's Scary Farm 2007. In the first year that John made the annual pilgrimage to the Los Angeles area. Now, John, was Knott's Scary Farm before or after Halloween Horror Nights?
After. We did HHN first, and then the next night we did Knott's.
So, with that, you knew kind of what you were getting yourself into then?
Yeah, I was still pretty gun-shy, especially to go from like Halloween Horror Nights, where that year they only had the 4 mazes.
Uh-huh.
And then to go to Knott's where they had like 13, I was kind of like, oh my god.
So this year, the mazes were 13 Axe Murder Manor, Asylum, Beowulf, Labyrinth into Darkness, Black Widow's Cavern, which I think was the train ride.
Yeah, the train.
Dark Realm, Doll Factory, Fairy Tales, Killer Clown College, Lore of the Vampire, Lost Vegas, Pyromaniacs, which was another ride.
That was the long ride.
Redbeard's Revenge, and then The Grudge 2 is back.
Mm-hmm.
So, from another website that kind of did a review of all of this, let's start here with Lore of the Vampire. They said, this is from Hollywood Gothic, this maze benefits from the emphasis on makeup rather than masks and gore. It's been described before. Oh, well, this is awesome. I think I have a video of it to play here later, but they don't even describe what the maze. Do you remember anything from this maze?
I think it took place in the Haunted Shack. Like, I don't remember specifically, like, its location or anything.
Was it mainly...
This one was a little fuzzy.
Was it the predecessor to Castle Vampire?
I don't know.
Because Castle Vampire, I've gone with a couple of different people, and they absolutely have a boner for Castle Vampire.
Castle Vampire was probably more like Lore of the Vampire.
Uh-huh.
And that one I heard a lot of people liked, and same with they kind of brought it back. I forgot what it's called. It was like Dominion of the Damned or Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a callback to one of those, and I know people really like that one because of that, like the old school, more like the classic monster feel. And that's what people really enjoyed about those mazes.
Then they had Dark Realm. This attraction, which made its debut in 2006, is a laser tag in the Stagecoach Trail converted into an outdoor haunt for Halloween. You simply walk through, or for an extra charge, you rent a laser tag gun and shoot at targets. The open air location makes it different from most claustrophobic mazes, which is not always a benefit. You can see the monsters coming because they don't have many places to hide. However, there was a magnificent roaring mechanical beast vaguely suggested on the 98 Godzilla that made it worth the trip. So they already had laser tag all the way back before they did the zombie laser tag thing.
Yeah, they've been doing it a long time. I don't think we went through that one. The first time I experienced a laser tag thing was with an Alien one that I believe came the next year.
That's crazy. So they've been working that laser tag price point for a while.
Yeah, no, they've been doing that and it was weird because you could go in with the option to do it or you didn't. So if you weren't doing it, you're walking through and like maybe the people behind you were.
Yeah.
And so you're like walking through and they're like shooting targets and shooting at the characters while the characters like shoot at you even though you don't have any laser stuff. You're just kind of like, oh, okay.
So it really was purely a laser tag experience.
Like you become collateral damage if you're in there without the vests. Like you're like just bystanders while other people playing are like actually in the game. You're just like walking through the maze and they like don't care about you because you're not playing.
Then they talk about Grudge 2. Grudge, we talked about that actually. You can listen to us watch the video of it in the re-airs that got posted a couple weeks ago. This maze, I wish I could have gone through this maze. All the little makeshift animatronics and shit that they have in there to reference the movie. The setting looked like it was not Scary Farm. It's interesting, not Scary Farm. They'll either do like super elaborate, crazy set designs on their originals, but it always seems like their IP mazes that they do are half-hearted.
Well, because I think they're backed by Sony a little bit, so they're actually getting some money to put those on, so they're probably able to throw the money into them.
Right.
But I think it's one of those things they've always had the capability of building the sets like that, but probably not necessarily the budget.
Yeah.
Well, with the Sony properties, it was like, here's some money. They're probably like, oh, hell yeah. Like,
it just makes me think of the stepdad experience. Make sure you know what you're waiting in line for. Quit complaining. Then, so after the Grudge 2, Viva Las Vegas. This is described, this was also the year prior, a 3D maze that offers a colorful and gaudy version of Vegas loaded with ghouls. The tone is clearly satirical, and the results are probably more funny than scary. Overall, it was not the most awesome experience of the night, but it was different. And different, this author says, is important. Sounds like Andrew. Much of the appeal of Knott's is that it is so extensive, offering more mazes than you'll find anywhere else. However, in the past years, the quantity sometimes leads to repetition. One year, we saw 3 separate attractions that included a mechanical dummy vomiting up blood or vial. This year, we were much likely to feel that each new maze felt a bit like one just before it. So he's saying that this added a uniqueness and a different perspective, kind of like their This Is the End or Clowns in 3D from Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, it was Blacklight, and before, like, Knott's always had like 3 or 4. I think it was like 3 3D mazes, and they were charging for the glasses as like an extra. It was like $1 a pair.
Yeah.
But then it was like, then they're yours, and you can use them at all 3 of the attractions. Compared to Halloween Horror Nights was giving theirs away because they wanted people to experience, what they did.
Right.
But
I do remember.
What we did is we did Halloween Horror Nights, and we just kept our glasses, and then we'd go to Knott's and then use our glasses there.
Oh, so you were anticipating the upcharge of Not Scary Farm for the glasses. That's a smart move.
Yeah, we were super cheap. We didn't want to spend $1.
Now you can buy them for $20 on eBay.
We're going on these hot trips on an extreme budget. We're from Northern California, so to go down there and be down there, $1 could be, a burger from McDonald's. So it was kind of like, I need to save a buck.
That is very true. Killer Clown College. This was new for 2007. This maze is filled with those killer clowns. This attraction was actually not so new. It had been a combination of the old Hatchet High and the carnivorous clowns from outer space, both seen in 2004. If you dig the clown thing, this is fine, but it did not particularly stand out for us. By the way, he's asking, are the writers of Killer Clowns for Outer Space getting any kind of royalty? So this sounds like a rip-off of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space experience.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that I can remember, I don't know, I think it was either the first time, maybe the second time going to Not Scary Farm, Uncle Bobo's Big Top of the Bazaar.
That was a good maze.
They had that cotton candy room.
Yes. There was black walls with the cotton candy embedded all over the place.
That was freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. Do you have any fond memory of this maze?
Not so much, because I don't think it lasted long, because then they dove right into Uncle Bobo's. So it was almost like they took the Hatchet High thing and then they kind of added the clown stuff, and then it was then they scrapped the idea and just went fully with the clown stuff.
Now it's Hatchet. Was the Hatchet...
Literally, this whole year is almost like a setup for a lot of stuff that they do down the road.
The Hatchet High thing... Well, I guess you didn't go through the Hatchet High maze, right?
No.
But I would imagine the Hatchet High maze, kind of the design of the maze would be similar to that zombie maze at Great America now. Zombie High or whatever.
Yeah, which Knott's had. They turned a zombie maze into Virus Z, which had the school stuff, but it wasn't as big as the one at Great America. The school part was small in that maze compared to what they've done at Great America. That maze is all school.
Yeah. Then we have the Doll Factory. This was new for 2007 at Not Scary Farm. The theme being, so the maze does not feel like others. Besides the mechanical assembly line and weird toys, there are actresses dressed up like dolls. One in particular does an unnerving imitation of a mechanical doll walking, guaranteed to freak you out. Overall, there is just something about childhood innocence played for horror that generates a creepy sense of the uncanny. And this maze captures that feeling very effectively. We did have to wait 5 minutes in this line, but by the time we got out, the line had evaporated. So they went, this guy who's writing this article went again, and it was even better the second time. We took time out from this maze, hunting to sit down, but okay, so next time out you went and watched the show. So this sounds like he thought that this was kind of the best maze of the night.
Hands down.
Hands down the best maze of the night?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because when I did Great America a few years ago, the best maze of that event was also, at that time it was called the Toy Factory, I believe, or something.
Yeah.
All the way to the original song to just the set design and the people scaring in that maze as well. So this doll factory, toy factory thing that the Buena Vista Parks has done, they seem like they have got that nailed.
Yeah, that one was so good, and even because that'd been at Knott's for I think it was like 6 to 7 years. It
Jesus.
was there for a long time. Like it had a long run, and even going on its final year, it was still a good maze. Granted, they only had like 5 or 6 actors on its like final run,
Yeah.
but it was so good. And then to hear that it went to Great America, and they turned it into the Toy Factory, which you said was like one of the best mazes. Then it just goes to show you just how good that maze was.
The maze in itself, and we'll get to Great America's thing when that year comes, but just, I remember the set design, it actually felt like you were in a factory assembly line, and then there was the different rooms, like the playrooms where they're testing out these toys. It was pretty cool. So let me ask you this. Do you guys, both of you, do you enjoy Knott's Scary Farm and the fact that they only do like 2 new mazes each year? Or do you wish that it was brand new, like completely?
I kind of like it's nice to have the difference between like them and Universal, where Universal tries to do a full clean slate. But sometimes there's mazes that I enjoy so much that I get excited to get to go and experience them again the next year. Because they always kind of change them up a little bit. Like, they're not, like, completely the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, like, a cool theme that I love to see year after year. So, I mean, I do really like that. Because I know there's years with Halloween Horror Nights where it's like, God, it's like I would love to see this maze again and have it come back for another year.
Right.
Like, it would just be so cool. And then it doesn't. You're kind of like, oh, all right, well, I got to experience it once. So
yeah.
It's kind of like, for people who don't live down there that could go every day and go through it every night, it's cool to get to see some of that stuff again.
Right.
For me, I look at it like this. Like, I enjoy seeing some of the mazes over again. Like, last year we went to Knott's and we saw Origins. Origins was amazing. And I would love to see it stick around at least for another year to see what they do with it, to expand their history in the park, but throw that haunt spin on it. It's such a great maze, and I also like going through and looking at the props and how they set things up and how they wind you through, because as designers of a haunt, that's stuff that we look at. I also like that when they have them for multiple years, your scares, by the time season's over, they've developed a character. So they have like a month and a half, roughly, to develop this character. And in a month and a half, by the time they get it pinpointed, season's over. So they can take that over and start the next year in that maze and have that craft down, and it makes that experience so much better. So that's what I like about that. And the difference between Halloween Horror Nights and Knott's is Knott's, they kind of have free reign. Like, some of their characters, like in Origins, they have a witch that's repeating this incantation, and it's just part of that one scene. So I don't mind it. When you go to Halloween Horror Nights, you're getting a lot of step and repeat. They have 15 seconds to go out, do their scare, reset, and then do the exact same scare over and over and over and over again.
Right.
It gets repetitive. Where at Knott's, they have free reign. They can follow you through a little bit. They don't have to stay in one spot. They move. They can be in different spots. I like the originality of that more than a constant reset, repeat, constant reset, repeat. When we did Michael Myers, when we walked through that maze, every Michael Myers did the exact same thing. They walk out, they swing the knife, they reset. They walk out, they swing the knife, they reset. We got stuck. The line stopped moving.
I remember that.
And we were in the room where, why can't I think of her name?
With
The mom, Laurie Strode.
Laurie Strode.
Yeah, Laurie Strode. She's in this one spot, and she's yelling at Michael, no, and then you hear the gunshot go off. We watched that. Oh, yeah, the second one. We watched that scene probably 30 times because we got stuck in that maze. And there was so many things that they could have done and so many different places that they could have switched out and came out and scared our group just standing there. But they don't. They have to follow their cue, and that just kills it. We got stuck in Dark Ride at Knott's, and I was shaking because it's a whole clown maze, and it's dark, and they were coming from everywhere. I mean, any place that you thought that they were coming from, they were coming. So I like that Knott's does some repetitiveness, and it gives their characters a little bit more leeway to have the freedom because you're not getting the same thing. Not only that, but they change it up every year just a little bit, enough for you to notice the difference, but for it to still be fresh. And I think that's a great way to reuse a maze and to get your money's worth out of it.
So going into that too, and her bringing up Dark Ride, that actually brings up a good example. The first year we did Dark Ride, and it's brand new year, I thought it was okay. Like I saw a lot of room for improvement. And then that second year when we went, they did everything that I figured that they should have done, and it was incredible. So to do something for a couple more years, you could have the chance to do those improvements and just make it so much stronger and better. And that's what they did with that one.
The whole thing, I think, a lot of would be too is it's like going to your favorite theme park attraction.
Yeah.
Like you go to Pirates of the Caribbean every time you go to Disneyland, and
it's the same thing. But guess what? You just love doing it.
Right. So the repeatability factor, I guess. Let's see if he talks about anything else. Oh, here's one where we're definitely gonna watch the video of Beowulf. This movie
scared the shit out of me.
This movie promotion had me excited solely because the rumor was CGI be damned. You were gonna see Angelina Jolie more naked than you'd ever seen Angelina Jolie. Do you remember that trailer where where her as Grendel comes up out of the water and they had the gold drip shit, and you were like, damn, Angelina's gonna get naked in Beowulf, because Beowulf bangs her in the actual story. Man, I was disappointed. So he says it's making its debut in 2007, obviously based upon the upcoming movie. This offers cavernous corridors, stone walls, and dark chambers. The story of Beowulf is not really a horror story, but it is filled with 3 memorable monsters who make appearances here. There's a huge mechanical Grendel crouched down. He looks too big to move much, but his arms reach out and nearly grab you. There's also a equally huge version played by an actor, built up phony upper torso and head for the scene of Grendel with his arm torn off. Even more impressive is the giant mechanical dragon head seen leering over the wall, puffing smoke. The maze could use he's saying it could use seductive female sirens to distract you, would be a good call. The women do a nice job of looking beautiful and bored, as if indifferent to the attention they draw. This maze is more atmospheric than shocking, but it's not bad, especially considering it existed as a promotional device for the movie. This scared you, huh?
There's those mazes where the cast is just on fire that night.
Yes.
This was that maze. We went through and they had the scares were just like Viking guys. But for some reason, they were just hitting every freaking note. And they were just they hit us every time. And we were freaking jumping it was like boomerang effect. So it's just like shit. It was one of those where it was just like they were just hammering you each time, and for some reason it worked. It was like, what the hell? Like you come out of it laughing, going, "How the hell did I get drilled that many times in that maze?" It was literally Pandora's box. That's what
Okay.
it felt like.
Well, let me hit the share screen feature here. And we'll start with Beowulf for all of us to check out here. Let me load it. John says it's the best maze he's ever been through in his life. So,
Now,
do you guys see this video?
yeah.
Okay. So she's walking up. There's the Beowulf poster. There's your Viking, John. It's a long walk to get to this maze. Oh, convenient placement of the trailer. There's Angelina Jolie. This guy who films these old videos always laughs when he gets scared.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's one of the Vikings.
You can hear him laughing.
Yeah. So right now they're in... Are they in like a cave?
They're in the no, they're in the hall, the dining hall.
Oh, okay, so they're like in the castle.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's the mechanical Grendel. So you could touch that thing if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Did you touch it?
No.
So now they're moving out of the castle area. And now we're more into like a swampy cave-esque area. Another Viking hiding in the caves. The dripping water. Where's Angelina at?
I think she was the video or something. Yeah, that was like a video.
Oh, there's her voice. Oh, there she is. Yeah, silhouette. That silhouette looks like the monster from that movie Splice. There's the golden horn or whatever the hell it is that Beowulf's trying to get. Those poor scare actors having to listen to Angelina Jolie deliver like 2 lines for 8 hours.
Yep.
deeper into the cave. Oh, there's one of them on, one of them on the bungee cord. Another guy's like ripped apart. Oh, damn, huge dragon. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dragon blows smoke on you. Now you're back into the castle. And they're out.
No, it's definitely a quick maze.
So that is interesting in regards to, they looked like they showed pretty much the main scares just being like zombie Vikings.
Yeah.
Beowulf, the only part of that movie I remember is the Jolie Bang scene. So I have no recollection of any zombie Vikings.
No, there wasn't any.
So
They got ripped apart, but that was about it.
let's take a look.
Unless they just wanted to go with the old school feel that a Viking might just kill you or rape you. I mean,
The old school feel that the Viking may kill you or rape you. I feel like that is a theme that Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando did with a scare zone. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but there was like
I
Vikings
remember that.
Vikings ripping people apart,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like praising like Valhalla or whatever the Viking thing was. I don't remember.
Valhalla.
Valhalla, yeah. John, where would you like to revisit next? Your choices are Fairy Tales, The Asylum, or Toy Factory.
Doll Factory.
Whatever.
We could save Doll Factory for last, so let's do Fairy Tales.
All right. Fairy Tales coming into the stream here.
Because remember, this one was just, it was funny, and it was just kind of like, eh.
This one also in 3D, huh?
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say is pretty cool about Knott's Scary Farm is they put these mazes like intertwined with roller coasters.
Yeah.
I killed Santa!
This guy's getting into the face of some of the people in line. A cemetery line. So he's moving through. And now it looks like... Is that a dude dressed up as a fairy?
Could have been. They do that still to this day. They have some of the clowns in Carnival. This guy is dressed up as like a full clown, wearing like the dresses and everything.
That is interesting. It's another fairy as they walk in. Hitting it hard already with the spinny tunnel.
It's like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, this one looks vaguely familiar. Like, I may have gone through this one my first time. It's like a clown sitting on a toadstool looking thing. Bunch of slime.
This is the gingerbread house. That's Hansel and Gretel.
You guys, your guys' gingerbread house looks better.
Thanks, man.
Oh, Goldilocks and the Three Bears now. They look like the Bernstein Bears on the wall. Oh, giant frog. Frog Prince.
How was that?
I don't know what the hell that was. Heads on
It almost looked
pipes.
like a snake. I don't know. Oh, Three Little Pigs.
Yeah. Oh, look at that pig puppet.
Look at the big ass pig.
Is that a cow?
That could have been. What was the one? Yeah, the cow that got.
Oh, the cow went over the moon or whatever?
Yeah. Could have been that one.
He's going through like a translucent forest. Far, far away. That guy just scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
She's like, it looks like a rotting pumpkin.
Was this Sleeping Beauty?
Looks like.
Damn.
They move into like a medieval castle, Sleeping Beauty. Someone's playing a fife.
Was it the Pied Piper?
They're using those air blasts quite a bit.
I hate those things. They always freaking get me.
Because they're always like below your knees.
Yes. Well, it's the fact that you don't like things touching you when you go through these, so when you feel something against your skin, it like flips you out.
Like a dark forest Sutton looking rotted walls, skeletons everywhere.
The alien eggs?
It's like another dragon.
Dragons were the theme this year, apparently.
Yeah. All right. So
Nice.
that maze, do you have a strong recollection of that maze?
I have one solid. I mean, I remember the fairies at the beginning walking in. The other random memory I have of this maze is one of the scarers popped out, and you could tell it was like a guy dressed up as a woman.
Uh-huh.
And Martin decided to ask if he could grab his boobs, and the guy nodded yes, so Martin grabbed the boobs.
Sounds like a very Martin thing that he would do. Definitely.
Exactly. So, this maze was it was fun. They're 3D mazes. I could never really take fully serious. They were always just kind of like goofy, like
Right.
that. So, I mean, you basically went into those just waiting to just have a good time instead of a scary time.
All right, before we get to the main attraction of the factory, the asylum is next here.
Manglers, or is this 13 acts?
This is. It's just called. They just called it the asylum, so I don't know if it's. I don't know.
I think it was previously known as the Manglers Asylum, and then I think they just turned it into the Asylum.
Huh. Okay. Let's see. This looks like it's where. This looks like it.
Paranormal Inc. is at now.
Yeah, that big old warehouse.
Yep. Yep, Manglers Asylum.
That mask looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Bodies hanging. Going through like a chain link fence into the next room. Oh, the good old throwing up into a toilet gag.
Yep. When you can tell this maze is like stacked with scares. Like they're like everywhere.
Yeah, this looks by far the scariest maze out of the three that we've watched.
Yeah, this one is like fully staffed and everything. Like it's loaded up, which makes a huge difference.
Kind of like a nursery type room. Electricity shooting through now. Guy's being electrocuted.
Electroshock therapy room.
Some kind of operation room. Oh shit, it looks like Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses.
It did look like that.
Oh, that guy's creepy looking. Bald guy, like tattoos all over his face. Experiments, like alien looking experiments, or the thing looking experiments. Like we have like stirred off of just a hospital asylum setting. It's like getting weird.
Oh yeah. No, anytime Knott's does a maze like based on asylum with those types of settings, it always creeps me out. They do a really good job on those settings and landing the scares in those types of mazes.
Guys just blowing a whistle in their face.
Maximum security ward.
Guys chained up into the bed.
You definitely tell the difference with this maze to the other. This one's so much more longer too.
Yeah, it's huge. And they're out. So out of those, that looked like the scariest one so far that we have watched. Do you remember going through that one?
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Like you said, it seemed very, very long. I've known it's interesting that Knott's Berry Farm and Halloween Horror Nights have switched places in regards of the black hallways. In 2007, there was some black hallways at Knott's Scary Farm and not any in Halloween Horror Nights. And now, 13 years later, there's a shitload of black hallways at Halloween Horror Nights and none at Knott's Scary's Farm.
Yeah.
And to
Funny how that happened.
funny, like funny, sad how that happened. And to cap things off for John, we have the Toy Factory, Doll Factory that he went on. Already the facade of the thing is fucking amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, that facade is awesome.
You have doll parts and gears and shit, and they're strobing and sparking. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be moving, and that would be badass. Damn, the eyes are winking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty metal.
Also, they had like some like metal music playing out front too.
Okay, now they're inside. Toys all around. Assembly line.
All kinds of weird creations and stuff in there already.
Doll parts and masks. Is that guy security or is he an actor?
I think he was security. They had a hat on.
Like, at least try. Like, a lamp made out of what is, I'm assuming, supposed to be a real person.
It's a mannequin lamp.
If it wasn't out of focus, I think that guy's ripping apart somebody. Oh, there you go. Ripping apart a doll with a creepy baby doll mask on. Lots of use of the. Oh shit! And there's the body. I was gonna say lots of use. It looks like Sid from Toy Story's room.
Yeah.
Oh, she's creepy looking.
That guy have his arms in his sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's weird. Ari just has it unzipped and he's wearing it like a cape. Oh,
Hey, whatever makes you comfortable, right?
2007, maybe that was like the move. Another doll in a dresser. Sewing machine running.
This is his sewing room. It's the dollhouse.
It's kind of cool makeup on her, make her look like she's a cracked porcelain doll. Oh, that's cool. She's got a pull.
She's even got the pull string.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice touch.
Kissably close to the camera that doll got. Oh, bunny rabbit. And a monkey.
With a Freddy Krueger sweater.
Yeah, this would definitely have been my favorite.
Yeah. Well, right away I can say this video already just doesn't even show like what we've experienced multiple times going through this one.
Yeah. That's 2007 for you. They got some people hooked up to some liquids, goo, embalming fluid, maybe. Damn, this is another super long maze. And they're like going through like a workshop area, almost prison cell.
Yeah.
People strung up all over the place.
This girl all chained up, slamming against the plexi.
I would expect you're going to see a lot of scares like that this year with COVID-19. The plexiglass scare.
Yeah, we'll see. Freezer room.
Why not? Why not have a freezer room?
Gotta put those bodies on ice.
Oh fuck, a little girl praying. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's the... Yeah.
Oh, ballerina. Damn, that looks cool.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray these dolls will not go deep. For every night before I wake,
And they're out. So there you go. Those are some mazes from Not Scary Farm. If you 2007 Not Scary Farm. If you were gonna go back, John, and do one more maze, which one would you want to do?
From that year specifically, or ones that lasted a while?
No, from that year specifically.
I think I actually something you didn't show. Well, no, I had another year, but I don't know. I guess I think I would want to see Beowulf again, actually, just because I think it was a 1 year thing. Actually, I would want to do Grudge too.
A Grudge 2 again, huh?
Yeah.
Ashley, you have one that you would want to do? Maybe the Killer Clown College?
No, I would not like to do Killer Clown College. I would just like to go and do that whole year since I wasn't a part of it. Like,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest, I would like to go back and experience all of it. I wish that I would have known more about this at that time. Not that I lived in this state at that time, but I would have definitely traveled to try to do that. So for one specific maze, no, but I would have liked to have tried to gone to the whole event and redo the whole event over.
The next time we are on the air, we will be talking 2007's Hanging Show and some of the supplementary shows that went along with that year. I have no clue who they hung. Do you remember who they hung?
I don't remember who they hung. I don't even know if we watched the show in 2007. I'll know when we pull it up, or if we watch a replay if I did see it or not. Because I know I got a lot of footage of 2008. I filmed Universal and Knott's.
Oh wow! Yeah, 2008. That'll be the year to talk about. Just as we went, because that was my first year going, and I know you were there. But yeah, man, the 2007 year of Knott's Scary Farm seems like it was a doozy. Seems like it was the foundation of the mazes from Knott's Scary Farm that I have experienced throughout either here or in Great America. So
yeah.
The next time we come out, like I said, we'll be doing the shows. Until then, check Higby Horror Haunt out on all social media platforms. You can follow them and the goings-on that they have going into this year's haunt season. You guys are going to start, now that the social restrictions have been lifted here in Stanislaus County, you gonna start doing sliding practice again?
Yeah, we'll probably just wait until June to start getting into that, just so we can get into a routine. We've already been kind of planning for this year's haunt as it is with the social distancing stuff that might still be kind of in effect going into October a little bit. So we've already been planning for all that. So we just gotta kind of play the waiting game a little bit and get to where we want to be for that.
Right on. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Higby Horror Haunt. See updates. If you want to see John Slide, Phenom Slider, and if you want to see Ashley Slide, Tattooed Cupcake.
No.
Gizmo Slider.
Gizmo the Slider.
Oh, you have an actual sliding one now.
I do. Gizmo the Slider.
Gizmo the Slider.
Gizmo _ the Slider.
Got it.
And Heathen Legion. You can follow us at our Heathen Legion Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so the sliding group has an Instagram now too. Okay. So there you go.
So much social media, sometimes I don't even know what to do.
I know that feeling.
It's like, do I post on one thing or all of it?
Well, we will be back in a couple weeks with the Knott's 2007 show, and then we will do our moving into Great America's Halloween Haunt for 2007. Or maybe we'll do Six Flags 2007 if I can find it, because I want to talk some Scrapyard of the Dead and the managerial choices that went into making that piece of shit. So
I can't wait to see it.
You'll be sorry. Anyway, thank you for listening. Stay tuned as always for more content on the Horrific Network. Stay spooky, everybody.